Environmental impacts on our coastal communities have never been greater. From pollution to climate change, coastal communities are at ground zero. The Serpent River Report brings you the latest developments impacting our coastal communities. We'll talk with experts about how environmental pollution, development, and climate change is affecting our coastal and river ecosystems. It's all right here on the Serpent River Report.
Hello. Today we're here to discuss the installation of a new statue. The statue is a beautiful bronze statue, 20 feet high. Mr. Sam Povar coordinated this effort for public beautification. Sam, what can you tell us that you'd like us to know?
Now we have to go back to the city and resell the city why that particular mermaid would, I understand why they wouldn't put a mermaid on Main Street, but that point on the harbor with a flute, with every single boat coming into the harbor and every single boat leaving the harbor, right there facing the ocean with the breakwater, that is made for that spot. I don't want to go into all the details. The fact of the matter is, Alex not only donated it, but he calls me up one day and says, Sam, what if I pay for the foundation under the mermaid? Because the city was supposed to do that, and they had no money. He went to the city says, if you pay for the foundation under the mermaid, you can go and put the mermaid up. So guess what? In 1 week, he has the foundation done, properly done, with rebar. It would take a tsunami, wouldn't take it down. That's right. A week later, he puts this gorgeous 9-foot pedestal up. And a week later after that, this 15-foot gorgeous mermaid that was in 3 pieces, and we all saw it in 4 hours, and when it was put up, it just was a caramba. It was a wow. And we knew we hit, just like finding gold. And there's a buzz throughout the whole city. And that's how the mermaid got to Soter Point.
Alec, what can you tell us about this story?
It was emotional story. It was not really logical. It's when I try to remember how it's happened, it's only emotional, unexplainable steps which get to this point. And I was driving on a freeway. I saw this statue. Some yard when they sell different kind of stuff. I fell in love, but for me, it's too expensive. Seriously, I have no place to put it. And it's a 14 grand, which I don't have, but I have credit card. So I came and bring it here. By that time, I talked to my wife and kind of, I have to explain where's 14 grand and I have to explain what this stuff doing on the backyard. And she said, okay, only one question. Why? What you gonna do with that? And I said, honey, have no idea. Trust me, it has a purpose. I have no idea yet. I mean, we will find out. It took probably a year or two when my wife told me, you know, if you really bought this statue to put on backyard like this by pieces, and it's staying there for years, then you did something really stupid. If you want to continue, like, I don't know, build a house, find a place, donate it, put it together, everybody can see it, then you really made something smart. City gave land, they gave all the support, engineering support, everything they can give, they give. I kind of feel fulfilled with all the project when I put it all together. And I really admire her way of thinking, because I'm afraid I by myself may not came up with this idea. You know?
Let's find out a little bit about your journey here. Where did you start?
I was born in Volga River region. Then it was a big communist construction in Kazakhstan, which is right now a totally separate country. It's the middle of Asia, so you're so far away from oceans, everything. You would never even see that much water or something. And then I have to go to service, and I go to Navy for 3 years, and I saw the ocean, and I fell in love with the ocean. I see what world is big, and actually possibilities is absolutely limitless. And I met a guy who was a yachtsman, and he talked about England, and he talked about Australia, and he talked about typhoons and oceans and stuff. And I was blown away again, and I was just whatever it takes. And he said, it's expedition going to Alaska. You want to do it? Let's do it. And I spent whole winter, very happy winter, because I was always exhausted, always in tar, or maybe we're doing the sales, or maybe something. And it was expedition. It's commemorate 250 years of Vitus Bering expedition to Alaska when he first saw the Alaska coast. I started to be a fisherman, but even before that, I was like maybe 3-4 seasons, on a salmon, on a crab.
So in Alaska, you were fishing some pretty cold waters, pretty harsh temperatures.
Alaska by itself, absolutely unique place. So you're totally fascinated with characters you met, with places you see. And again, because of my wife, and she's a smart woman, she said, look, if we decide we're in America, so we need to go from tourists, legalize our status, do all this, that, and we cannot do it in Alaska. It's no infrastructure. Our English not that good, and so we moved to Los Angeles, and it was a hard time, very hard time. We came, it's no money, and she started working in a Russian bakery as a cashier. I started loading and unloading trucks for Russian stores with the food and stuff. I was so tired every day, and I was like, anybody will offer me decent work, some profession, I would be the best. They're not going to fire me because I would be the best. They would need me badly. And the guy who offered me work, he was in construction, so that's how I ended up in construction. And eventually opened my company, and here I am. I was so blessed with the very, very nice people I met. All my life, I always met, starting from Alaska, here, I'm meeting with incredible people. I don't know, I was simply lucky, who may inspire, It's not like, it's not financial aid, it's not advice, it's inspiration. Like you see some other people, you want to do like that, you want to be like that.
This is an incredible story in the sense that the three of us are people that live here in Ventura, and we all love this place. And we come together to develop this Soda Point, and now the Mermaid, and it's a good story because it originally started with beautification, and it still is. It's a public-private collaboration where the city of Ventura gave us the property, and Andy Soter is landscaping it and improving it, and it's becoming Soda Point. The Alec Benke story, is a very unusual story. He's a very unusual person. He gives an awful lot of credit to a lot of wonderful people that he's met, but he happens to be a pretty wonderful guy that makes everybody else wonderful when he meets them. And I think his story, the fact that he met me through the city, and I was able to convince the city to rethink, because they refused him originally when he went to give the statue to the city, but I made him rethink about it because the statue happens to be, or the mermaid happens to be, in the most perfect possible place where it should be, and they thought about it, and they agreed. And now the three of us have come together, and the city of Ventura has a beautiful place called Soda Point with a magnificent mermaid on it.
So let's introduce Mr. Andy Soter.
That spot has a lot of meaning for me and our family because my daughter passed away a little over 1.5 years ago. She was a very special lady, and she and I would walk the beaches and bicycle our paths, and we spent many, many hours here at the beach just enjoying being at the beach. But when she was a little girl, I used to take her to Marina Park, and she enjoyed Marina Park, and so did my other children. And my boys have surfed there, and we've beached there, and just enjoyed Marina Park. So when the opportunity, in the process of her dying, of course, the grieving process that we all go through, I wanted to do something for this very special person. And when Sam introduced me to the opportunity to do it, I was overwhelmed. I talked to my wife Dolores about it, and she said, Andy, that would be the most perfect spot for our family, because that's where we did spend our leisure time and recreational time, was at that Marina Park. And so when she agreed to do it, I notified the city people in charge of parks that we would contribute to that beautification of that spot. And from what I've noticed, ever since the Mermaid has been completed and up, we've had a tremendous flow of traffic there. And input from people is positive. People love it. I've gotten many, many compliments that We're doing a wonderful project there. And I've had some people say, well, what can I do? Are there things I can do for the city? And yes, there are. And we're looking forward to other people stepping up, and maybe it's a memorial, or maybe it's just something they'd like to do to beautify a special place in the city. And there's a lot of spots that can be beautified. I, like Alex, love the water. I've got to be close to it or my heart just won't beat. Having that Soter point there is a real joy for us.
It's great if you decide, or somebody decide to do it, not to count on somebody else's money, just spend yours on your own projects. Now it's became really
That's what
your
Andy's
own.
feeling?
Yeah,
That's what I felt at Povar Plaza, and it's true.
Why do you like mermaids?
I don't know, maybe I have 2 daughters, and she's beautiful.
What can you tell us about the artist?
I have no idea who is the artist. It's 2000 something, it's a year, and it's a name Jarmo, or something like that, or Jarmo. But I try different ways to find out who is it, and have no idea, honestly.
The submariners, they typically hear and see things undersea. Maybe there are mermaids, huh?
When you're under the ocean, you suddenly realize how much it's full of life and noises and voices and whatever you can imagine. I was kind of, they teach us how we're gonna hear American ships, and what's the difference between air carrier and cruiser and something. And then you put earplugs, and it's a wonderful world up there. You even forget about all that mechanical noises. You just may for hours listen to the ocean because it's full of life. It's full of sounds. I would not be a second surprised. What I mean, it's thousands of mermaids around. No, really.
Are all the sounds that you hear on sonar identified, or are some of them?
No, absolutely non-identified. That's what that was fascinating. It just, I mean, maybe some biologists can tell, okay, this is the whale, this is the dolphin, this is something we don't know. But however, what I can tell, it's like you want to hear the ocean and see if you're gonna hear the enemy noise, and then suddenly you put this earplugs and you hear, I mean, some different world, like full of life, full of emotions, noises, everything, just sometime because of the common sense and everything, we start lying to ourselves. You hear or see something absolutely fascinating, beautiful, and magical, but you cannot accept it. Your brain cannot accept it. You find 100 ways to explain yourself why it's absolutely normal. It's just happen every day, and you're lying to yourself. Who is right, me, just because I cannot really accept it, or they still can see them,
There may be mermaids that you've heard and didn't know they were, huh?
Oh, well, yeah, I was sure it's mermaids. Yeah, and again, I mean, it's like a dream come true. If I love ocean that much, and very beautiful part of my life was with the ocean, and right now, whoever go there, as a fisherman, as a yachtsman, when they leave, they can see something beautiful. When they come back to the port, they can see something beautiful. I do believe most of sailors romantics, so I hope they're going to like it.
The statue apparently will be a landmark for mariners. It can be seen from the sea.
Well, then it's a dream come true then.
It's a dream come true. We're here with Mr. Alec Benke discussing his journey, his long journey from Russia with love to America, and how he has helped to beautify our shores with a statue and imagination of his own.
Thank you, Bill.
And Alec, I really appreciate meeting you, and I like to hear stories of people who have truly had an American success story. I'm your host, Bill Rogers. Until next time, remember, together we are changing the world.